Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UPNradio.com.
It's time for the Bonnie Sher Show, a whirlwind of wit, wisdom, celebrity, and the boomer life. With a little bit of this and a lot of that and so much more you don't want to miss, here's Bonnie.
Well, hello there. Welcome. Welcome to my new friends, my old friends, close by, far away. I am your host. I'm Bonnie Sher, and we're here today, and I will be leading you through the worlds of entertainment, the great boomer generation, and of course, the world of type 1 diabetics. I want you to feel free to share your thoughts, any questions you might have. Our call-in number here is 323-843-2826, or you can always tweet the hashtag, which is #BSHER Radio. Before we get this show on the road, I'd like to acknowledge jazz great Wayne Cobbin for having composed my Super Duper Hero theme song. And also, while I'm at it, let's thank and acknowledge Corey Bowen of Crown and Anchor Jewelry, who provides me with the jewelry that I wear on my show in exchange for this promotional message. When we come back, which we will, actor, stand-up comedian, and a member of the acclaimed comedy group Two-Headed Dog, Jim Turner, is with me today. And we'll be back after this break.
Your life story is more than the things you do. It's a story built on the moments you make today and the impact you have on others. How big is your story going to be? Live your legend.
Well, let me start out by saying, welcome, Jim. I know his last name is Turner. I was just making sure he was paying attention. Thanks for taking time out of your day to come in here and schmooze with me. I love when you're here.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're
I
welcome.
enjoy being here.
Okay, we've gotten all that crap out of the way. Okay, so tell me, other than walking pigs for banks, and I must say, I thought that was a great spot.
Thank you.
I also want to know how you get a job as a walking pig person, but, you know, I would do anything in show business because we all know show business is my life. So tell me what's going on.
I've been doing a lot of live shows. I got a live show tomorrow night at the Steve Allen Theater with my group.
Now, where
Two-Headed
is the
Dog.
Steve Allen?
Steve Allen Theater is on Hollywood Boulevard across the street from Barnsdall Park.
Ooh.
And they've been doing shows there for, 15, 20 years, and they're about to tear it down, build some condos. And it's really too bad because
it is. How large is the house?
It's like 90 seats, but they have a parking lot. There's free parking. It's a spectacular place.
And are you just there the one night? Is it just the 30th?
Yeah, we just do one night now and then. We did a show.
And the we that he's speaking of course, the group called Two-Headed Dog. So don't be looking for Jim Turner's name. What you want is Two-Headed Dog.
Yeah, it's Two-Headed Dog.
And I've seen ads up on the Big Bad Book. That would be Facebook.
Yeah. That's the only way we promote it. Though we did get a big, Mark and I, one other guy in the group, got a big social media lecture from Puddles the Clown. You know who Puddles the Clown is?
I do, and I can't wait to hear what Puddles had to say in his lecture.
Well, he just laid out how we need to get a YouTube channel up and blah, blah, blah. And he said the reason, YouTube channels fail is because people don't do anything. They put it up, and then they put another video up, and then they're done. And he goes, I do it. I do it once a week. I make sure I put up this. And he said he laid out exactly what we should be doing.
And are you doing it?
Well, it was only 1 week, and we spent hours and hours simply trying to change our profile picture for Two-Headed Dog. We got one video up. I was really happy with that. That was the easy part. Changing the banner, changing the picture we were finally almost fighting.
And I can imagine what that would look like.
Yeah, it was nasty.
Now, there are only men in Two-Headed Dog, am I correct? Or do you have any female members?
There's only men. We've had guest stars, women guest stars. Molly Bryant has done a lot of stuff with us. There's actress Allison Eichen has done a lot of stuff with us. Stacey Granrock Woods, the sex columnist for Esquire.
Did she give you any tips?
She's always got sex tips.
What else do you
That's
need?
what she's hired to do.
We don't need diabetes tips. We want the sex tips.
Yep.
And I will mention that Jim is one of the T1 pack, as well as being a brilliant comic. As a matter of fact, I threw him a compliment earlier today that one thing I really appreciate about him is his sense of physical comedy and being so very free with himself. And I think that's two of the toughest things in comedy to do. And my friend, you be doing it.
Well, good. Thank
you. Gosh, I love when you do that. Pigs or no pigs. So I'm sorry for interrupting, but it's something that I do and everybody else did before. So there you go. So what else is on the? Are we writing? What are we doing?
I'm actually writing a diabetes / showbiz memoir. I'm writing my book.
He's writing a book. I love it.
And it's it's a little diabetes and showbiz memoir. And I've been working on it for a few years. I have note cards all over my house in order. And
it's very organized.
It's very organized.
I don't have.
But
could you rub off some of that on me, please? Yeah. I am not the organizer.
I can't. I'm kind of stuck, and there's people.
What, in entertainment or diabetes?
Both. The last 2 days of diabetes have not been good.
Why?
Man, I don't know. I've been sailing along, and then yesterday I was playing golf.
Oh, well, that's what it is.
Well, and I had a 3-hour on my Dexcom, 3-hour low. And you know how you overtreat lows?
Oh, I've been.
And then you go bum, bum. So I was really trying hard not to overtreat it. And I was a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And it just wouldn't come up. It wouldn't come up. And finally a little more of this, a little more of this, wouldn't come up. It went, I had a horrible day playing golf. I went home. It continued for another hour and a half. And finally,
Isn't that the part that makes you crazy? Because
yes,
everything that worked perfectly the day before, today is like, I don't think so. And I say, can't really know. I mean, obviously, if you've got something else going on, you have a cold or there's some kind of infection, then you're going to have a little more difficulty. But what I've found, I have a problem with keeping hydrated, and I'm not the greatest eater in the world. And it turns out coffee doesn't count.
No. No.
If coffee could handle my dehydration, I'd be a star. Okay. But that's what well, the bolus is the same, and I didn't change this, and I didn't change this, so why? And
So then what happened to me was I was home, and it was driving me nuts. It was 46. This is after eating, and I just couldn't. And I double snickered down. I had 2 Snickers bar. I went, you know what?
And how did that work
To hell
for
with
you?
this. Knowing. And then I play basketball on Wednesday night. So then
That's the trick. Don't do
I'm
any
through
exercise.
the roof, going to basketball, and before you play basketball, having to take a shot because if I'm this high now, so I had to bolus before playing, which is not good. Then boom, right back down during basketball. It was a nightmare day. And it's still kind of continuing.
You're pretty new to all. You were on MDI the last time we chatted.
Yes, I was on MDI for 46 years, and then I did an event for Omnipod, and I was saying, this is the only pump that I would do because I don't want tubes.
Really?
And they went, put it on for 3 months. Put it on for 3 months. If you don't like it, money back. I went, why? Why not? So I tried it for 3 months, and I love it. I really do. It changed a lot. It's taken me a while to get used to it because when I was always with people talking basal and boluses, and I would go, what do you mean? Are you taking your long term at night? That's your what? Your basal? I didn't.
Well, you don't
I
know
didn't talk
unless
in
you
the
have a
terminology.
reason to know. I mean, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have. But much the same you were talking about prior to your basketball game, I know that I've been prepping to do my show, and I don't mean this show, it's a show where I'm singing. And it's always that, what do I do? Do I overshoot? Do I undershoot? What am I going to do after the 4th ballad? Do I ask for orange juice?
Yeah.
But these are the thoughts that go through your mind. And all of that predictive logic that we use. Well, it worked yesterday. It should work today. It wants closer knowledge. It wants up to the minute. Does it affect you while you're performing? Or are you able to let
I'm
go?
really adamant about making sure that when I perform, it's usually at the start of the show 150, and then I know that it will continue to come down, and that'll be okay because by the time the show's over, it'll be about perfect. I don't like it over 180 for the show because I know that's going to just become a problem. Before a show, I'm going, okay, and then this, but I'm going to take a little teeny bolus here, blah, blah, blah. And during shows, I always have whatever character I'm doing, because we do shows. It's not like I don't really do stand-up, like stand there and talk as me. It's always a character, so I have to find a way that I hide Gatorade in booze bottles, and then act like I'm drinking booze. Trickery. I use trickery. And what's great now is that, I can go like this. I can just look. There's my blood sugar right there.
Gee.
Which, used to have to be test.
I
blah,
look,
blah, blah.
all I see are some freckles. But, I guess I could get into. I don't know that I'm not technologied out. Not too long ago, on this particular day, FedEx delivered a number of new things, my new iPhone and a new replacement pump. And I don't know that by the time I was done, I hadn't programmed iTunes to deliver insulin. And I just don't know what to do.
I'm going to look. See, I love this. That
It's such
I
a
bought the
guy
Apple
thing.
Watch
I'm sorry.
a couple months ago only so that I could do this. So I could look at my blood sugar on my wrist, like I'm looking at the time. What time is it? 1:17. Well, no, it's. I'm sorry. I'm 1:17.
Yeah. Braggers. That's why I don't wear a watch, because then I would know.
Now, this brings up another thing about bragging. These panels that I do are called Sex, Insulin, and Rock and Roll. And what we do is it's a bunch of certified diabetes educators and doctors, and I moderate the panels. And we've done them in Nashville and Seattle and San Diego, and there's going to be a bunch of them this year all over the country. And I just moderate. I don't have to be an expert. And I go, yeah. And we talk about stuff that doesn't really come up with educators and their parents, or their parents, their patients. And it's raucous and really fun and great. And I did one in Seattle, and my Dexcom was telling me that I was 50. This is just before the thing. And man, I was treating it, and I'm guzzling, Gatorade, and I'm eating some food. They start with a little cocktail hour. And I finally go, this is ridiculous. It's not coming up. So I tested, and it was 280. And I went, okay, look. And I walked around to all the educators going, look, okay, there and there. That's what we deal with. Why are these wrong? Why are these so different? And it was 280, and I'd been treating that, and it was going through the roof. During the thing, it went up to like 350. I'm embarrassed. I'm mortified when it's 350. It's like just awful. And I told this story to everybody. I said, look, I'm 350. And as some of these educators know, that's not good, and blah, blah, blah. And then one of the guys doing the panel said, see, this is what's cool about this, is that all of us type 1s, if we're 350, we're looking at it down here. Like when you're at a dinner with a bunch of people and you're testing, everybody kind of tests like, I better just check real quick. Because only if you're 100 then you go, oh, shoot, I guess I'm about 100. Okay. And he said, it's embarrassing. It's a thing. And for Jim to bring this up, to actually admit in front of all of us that he's 350, way to go, Jim. It was nice. It became a little teaching moment. But I still didn't like it.
No, who would? Hold that thought 1 second. We're going to take a quick break. And when we return, I really want to know the backstory of how a nice guy like you got such a great gig walking a pig for a bank.
Okay.
I do. So we'll be right back.
Since when did experience become something to hide? I say we own it. Lose all that negativity. Just let it go. It's just bad energy. Oh, and lose those terrible black balloons they give you on your 50th. What's up with that?
Hey, we hear you. That's why our members love AARP the magazine. It celebrates you with fun and provocative content, from lifestyle and entertainment to in-depth reporting. And it's just one of the great benefits of membership.
If you don't think this is right for me when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
To be at peace with myself is the most prominent thing, and I am at peace with myself. I didn't deal this deck, I'm just playing the game. That's all. That's it. Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise. Been making sure they get the nutrition that I need, and it's a balanced meal. My name is Maurice McGriff. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And we're back. And you're tuned into the Bonnie Sher Show. We have the pleasure of chatting with Jim Turner. So come on, join the conversation.
Call.
323-843-2826. You can call through your phone like Dick Tracy. Any way you want. We're here for you. So let's go back to Mr. Turner. So how do gigs like that come up? Let's talk a little bit about the commercial world. Now, you had told me before that was the first commercial you had done. Did they come to you?
Well, I've had commercial agents the whole time I've lived here for 25 years.
But you finally wound them up.
No, they've sent me out, and then finally they go, yeah, you're not booking anything. We got to let you go. And that's okay. Because I don't enjoy commercial auditions. I think they're different than regular auditions for TV and film. There's a thing that I haven't tapped into, and I have friends that get it, that totally, they book commercials all the time. I actually did one commercial many, many years ago, 25 years ago, where I played a circus clown. And it was for corn dogs. And a friend of mine directed it. And that's the only reason I got it, is he liked what I did. Then
You gave a good corn dog, did you?
For 25 years, nothing. Hundreds of commercials, auditions. And now it's got to where if it's on the west side of town, I live on the east side, I go, yeah, no, I'm not going. Why go? And it was down the road from me, and there was no dialogue. Just go in, you're a guy who owns a pig. Okay, fine. And I walked around the room carrying a leash with supposedly a pig on it. And then the casting director just would say, how long have you had that pig? Oh, boy, we've had it. There was a woman playing my wife. Oh, we've had it for 10 years. It was her idea. And we just improv stuff about our pig. And it was nothing. I didn't, I just was super relaxed. I didn't care. Because I know I'm not booking this. I've never booked a commercial. I'm here for some reason. I don't know. And a month and a half later, they called and said, so you're on a veil for that Chase commercial. What Chase commercial? With the pig? With the pig? Oh, I am? They're thinking of me? And then 5 days later, they said, you got it. And it was the easiest job I've ever had in my life. I loved it. Took 3 days to shoot that commercial. 3 days. One day around Echo Park, one day on the street in Santa Monica Boulevard, one day in a bank. And I did very well from the commercial. It saved my Christmas that year.
I love when I hear stories like that. I actually was booked when I was about the only commercial I ever got booked for. And it was for Coca-Cola. Of course, they wanted me to swing the Coke. And I finally had to fess up, during rehearsal and say, look, I'm a T1. I really can't be drinking this. I should have kept my mouth shut and taken more insulin. I was off that set. That was the
really?
end. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They could have used Diet Coke or Tab. Tab is owned by Coke. Remember Tab?
Do I remember Tab?
Tab and Fresca, back in the day.
Oh, Fresca wasn't too terrible, but Tab, wasn't
Fresca
too.
was horrible. Fresca and Tab were the worst. But Tab was worse than Fresca.
See,
now you have 100 diet
that
sodas.
I won't drink either.
Oh,
no, I like either just club soda if I want that effervescent kind of thing, or I'm big with water. Iced tea and iced coffee, but I just found out, like I told you in the green room, that when it comes to hydration, none of what I'm drinking is doing anything for me. But I'm wide awake.
Does bourbon hydrate you?
Ooh. How did you know I'm a bourbon girl?
I didn't. I am.
You're a bourbon girl.
I'm a bourbon girl.
Well, we're going to have to get together in bourbon sometime. Anything that is like inside of you that you would love to get out to our audience today?
Nothing burning. Come to the show tomorrow night at the Steve Allen Theater. That would be great.
That's the one. That's the one. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Well, I always like having you here, and we have to do this more.
Okay.
And you can leave your pig at home. It's okay.
I sent my wife a picture of that when I was shooting, going, hey, here's my co-star. She went, you better bring that home.
The pig or the picture?
The pig. You better bring that home. There were two.
Two pigs?
2 pigs, yeah.
Oh, well, there had to be a stand-in pig.
Yeah, and one was fun. The other, the second you touched her, like the second you tried to pick her up.
That's why she was the second
laugh.
pig.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Jim. I really appreciate it. And as we go to break, I'd like to acknowledge the very important work of the Diabetes Research Institute, and I encourage you, please support their efforts, and you can visit them online at diabetesresearch.org. That's diabetesresearch.org. Our song of the day is coming up next. But first, we're going to run this next ad. It's roll 30-second ad number 4. T1D looks like me. What is type 1 diabetes?
Type 1 diabetes can be living in anyone.
Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas doesn't produce insulin. It's not caused by your diet. It's not caused by anything you did.
Type 1 diabetes can be very serious.
Blindness, amputation.
Learn more about type 1 diabetes.
Help support JDRF finding a cure.
T1D looks like my brother.
T1D looks like a friend.
Type 1 diabetes looks like me.
If your heart always did what a normal heart should do, if you always play a part instead of being who you really are, then you might just miss the one who's standing there. So instead of passing by, show them that you care. Instead of saying why me and why you, why not we too? 'Cause love don't need a reason. Love don't always rhyme. And love is all we have for now. What we don't have is time. If we always believe all the madness that we're taught, never questioning the rules, then we're living lies we bought. And it's not about a fight, it's just I want to stay with you to the end, with you, my friend. 'Cause love don't need a reason. Love don't always rhyme. And love is all we have for now. What we don't have is time. I'll hold you close, time can't tear us apart. I will stand by you. We've got to start with the beat of one heart. Together we will see this through. 'Cause love don't need a reason. Love's never a crime. And love is all we have for now. What we don't have, what we don't have is
That was Marie Ann Marengolo singing Love Don't Have a Reason. What a beautiful singer she is. Anywho, welcome back to the Bonnie Sher Show. My co-host for this segment is Hunter Carlson, who is a member of the T1D, that's type 1 diabetes, community from the great state of California. Welcome, Hunter.
Good to be here. First time on a radio show, so forgive me if I start
Never let
stuttering.
them see you sweat. Here's what I want to know. Can you tell the audience, you're living with T1D. Share your story with us, would you?
Of course. So I was diagnosed when I was 6, and for me, obviously, as a kid, you got to grow up a lot sooner than most 6-year-olds. So with that, I didn't let it stop me from doing anything, and kind of that's what I'm kind of pursuing for other diabetics. I want people to live their life and not suffer from diabetes. So I played soccer, went to college, played soccer, and made diabetes the forefront of my life, and so that I could kind of, in a competitive way, be the victor instead of being the victim. So
interesting. For
me, I've gone through all stages and cycles and therapies, and I want to share what's working for me. It may not work for everyone, but
so tell. We always like to know what's new and hot and works.
Yeah, of course. So I've been on the pump. It worked at that time in my life. Been on multiple daily injections. Been on all types of basals. Today, what I've started to use for the past 2 years is Afrezza. It's inhaled insulin, and I think there's a lot of different opinions out there right now with Afrezza, but I know that when people use it in a certain manner properly, they're achieving goals they've never seen before in their life. And for me, I'm very passionate about it. Once again, it's not for everyone, but it does work, and today we'll discuss why and how it kind of changes the paradigm for how we treat and think about diabetes. And ultimately, it's making our life easier, and we're getting better glycemic control.
Okay, and the first question I have is, you said that it's not for everybody.
Right.
Is there a specified group where y'all would say, probably not best for you?
Yes. So it is approved for type 1s and type 2s. The group of people that probably is not best is people with lung function issues. So COPD,
Certainly.
asthma. If you're a smoker, there's no understanding of what's going to happen with smokers. So I guess those 3 categories would probably be not the best.
Okay, well, one question I have personally, I have gastroparesis, paresis. You say tomato, I say tomato. Correct. You know that one. So my food is not and what seems to happen now is I'll go ahead and give myself a bolus, and my blood sugars are already way up before.
Right.
Can that be effective for me, even though? Yeah. Huh?
So I think this may not be your solo solution, just because you don't know when that food's going to digest. But I think where you would use it and find the most benefit is when, say, hours 6, 7, 8, 9, when you don't know it's going to digest. You have this here because it's absorbed in 10 minutes. It brings you down so quick, and it's not hanging around so long. So when you bolus with Novolog or Humalog, that's in your body for 3, 4, up to 5 hours. So you risk that hypo event, and maybe you don't have that much food digesting. You don't know. So this it's a sprint. It's fast in, it's fast out. You don't have to worry about that hypo on the back end like you would.
And also I read that it comes in 2 dosages. There's a 4-unit and an 8-unit. What if you only need 2? Do you only breathe a little bit?
So it comes in 12 too.
I missed that one.
It's okay. and so part of the issue with Afrezza is the education, right? So we're so used to a certain style of dosing with Novolog and Humalog. It doesn't apply here with Afrezza because it works so differently.
That's fascinating.
But I can go over that.
I want you to go over what you had in mind. If I have more questions, I'll get them out. Go ahead.
Okay.
I want to hear more about Afrezza. Because personally, that was what kept me, because it sounds like such a great idea. Now, I do remember 20, 30 years ago, there was an attempt at an inhalable insulin, which was not very successful.
Exubra, yep.
What's new here?
So with Exubra, I don't know if you saw it. Have you ever seen a bong before?
Yes.
It was the size of a bong. So you'd have to go take...
Look how he gets me to relate.
Exactly. We're in California. Everything's legal now. We're all good. So it was the size of a bong. And so now Exubra, or Pfizer at the time, came out and said, hey, take this bong with dinner. Take it with your life, and you'll be good. And so obviously no one wants to carry a bong with them at all times of their life. Not everyone. We do live in California, so maybe some do.
That's true. That's true.
So I think just practically it didn't work out just based on the device itself. Whereas a Frezza, I mean, you can see it's
teeny.
It fits in your pocket. It's not difficult. So I think the biggest thing I want to talk about today, though, is how do we spend more time in range? I mean, Jim and you were just discussing how diabetes gets in the way and how certain things we can't control affect our time and what range we want to be in, and how do we approach those?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that I'm passionate about, something I'm fighting for, to spend more time in range. And you'll see, so what I've done is I've downloaded my Dexcom for the past 3 months, and I spend 95% of my time.
I don't. All of a sudden, I don't think I like you anymore. This
between
is
70 and
absurd.
155. So.
You made this up.
So you can see it. It's there. And so
I could.
I love your reaction though, because you can't do that with the therapy of the 90s and 2000s. You can't really. Some people can, but it's difficult with Novolog and Humalog for a lot of reasons, because there's that delay effect of you have to wait 30 minutes. It's in your body for 3 to 5 hours. So not only are you experiencing hyperglycemia when you eat if you don't dose 30 minutes prior, but you're also worried about hypoglycemia on the back end when your food's done digesting. So Afrezza allows you to, if you have a CGM, live in the moment. You can do whatever you want whenever you want. If you have a hyperglycemic event, you can get down in range a lot quicker, within an hour, generally. And when you're eating with food, you can literally look at your food, dose, and go. So now you're free. You're living like everyone else. Obviously, you're inhaling something, so you're a little different, but you're free to do what you want when you want. And so that allows us to kind of have a different psychological outlook with diabetes.
And that's so important.
Absolutely.
A lot of people just kind of fly by that. Oh, well,
Exactly.
But it is ever present, and if you don't have it present, then you're just not paying attention to it. I always try and tell T1s who come to me with those issues, does diabetes cause depression? Well, I don't know if it causes it, but it kind of is ancillary to it. And knowing that you have some options, not having options. Now that's depressing.
Right.
But having options, and this is all coming at us kind of right when we need it. Let me ask you this. Is Afrezza covered by insurance?
Yeah, so its coverage is getting better. So generally, yes, the answer is yes. Every insurance is different.
And so if you had to pay out of pocket for it, what would it be?
If you go on a thing called GoodRx, which is open to the public,
you
can see that price. I think it comes out to around $280, up to around $500. So
that would cover you for a month.
Correct. So, but generally insurance is covering it, so patients are not paying that much money for it, and I don't pay. My insurance covers it. So
well, you're a young
I'm lucky.
Still. Wait till you hit the Medicare, and they don't want to pay for spit. Oh wait, I'm sorry. They pay for spit. They don't want to pay for anything else. However, now I already know that you're not on Facebook. On account of cause I looked.
Yep.
And I look. So if people want to get in touch with you, if they have questions, how can people follow you?
They can call me.
Calling you.
Authentic relationships, that thing we lost with Facebook. That's so for me, call me or email me. I'm easy to get to, and I'm happy to talk to anyone.
Okay, and I will be posting your email address.
Go for it.
On my site and on Facebook, and to anybody who's been watching us, so they'll know how to reach you. Then if you want to give up your phone number, then call me. Okay. Okay. Actually, I do have your phone number. It's Turner's phone number I've never gotten in all these years. I wonder what that's all about. Anything else you're buzzing about today?
No.
You look like you're feeling well.
Yeah, life's great. Yeah,
life's great. That's such a Newport Beach thing to say.
Life is good. I mean, we do live in a good spot.
Yes, you do.
So we get sunshine.
And I know you're
hot
a
right
tennis
now,
player.
learning. So I started in January. That was my New Year's resolution. Not good yet, but we'll get there.
See, I just am enamored with your spirit.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Because some people have no depth perception, and I can swing at that ball wildly and never even come close to it.
Contacts were made. They might help.
I just think we ought to put me out to
Bonnie and
best.
I are best friends. So.
And getting closer by the minute. And with that being said, we know how to get a hold of you. And please stay in touch with me. I would love to have you back on the show, and we can talk more about this new inhalable insulin or whatever else is
I'm ready.
on your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank my type 1 diabetic co-host, Hunter Carlson. Now, if any of you other T1Ds would like to occupy this seat of honor, known as my type 1 co-host, it's so easy. All you have to do is write to me. That's how easy it is. Bonnie at bonniesher.com. Tell me you're interested. Give me some contact information. I'll get back to you. We'll find a Thursday that's perfect for you and for me, and it will be done. Okie dokie. Now, next up, today's Boomer News comes to us from the nonprofit organization Public Citizen. And their discussion is about that rascally problem of gluten. Back in 60 seconds.
For 3 million Americans with celiac disease, eating gluten, a protein in wheat, barley, and rye, can make them sick. Even small amounts of gluten in many products on grocery shelves can trigger painful and debilitating symptoms. Most food labels identify products containing gluten, but one widely used type of product doesn't: over-the-counter and prescription drugs. That's right. Manufacturers sometimes use gluten in medications as an inactive ingredient. But drug labels usually don't indicate the use of gluten. To avoid gluten in medication, celiac patients must spend time and effort researching medications online and calling manufacturers. That is not a realistic option. Who can fix this problem? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which has long been aware of the issue. In 2008, a New York man with celiac disease urged the agency to ban gluten in medications, or at least to require they be labeled. The petition attracted 73 public comments, but the FDA did not act. In 2011, the FDA received another 138 comments. Still, the FDA did not act. Now lawyers at Public Citizen are representing the man in a lawsuit. The goal? To get the FDA to act on his request. Share the facts at www.citizen.org/pressroom.
Now, for the views from my soapbox. You know the one, the people I think deserve to really be commended. And, of course, my shout down is to those who I really think messed up. Okay, so, as to my shout out, I'd like to give a shout out to a gentleman named Bob Cronowit, who recently has passed away. But I'm going to tell you, I have known Bob since 1973. He and 10 Florida families got together and created what at the time was known as Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, JDF. There were no paid workers. They were started in answer to the ADA, who they felt was spending too much money on salaries and the like. And these 10 couples all had children that were T1Ds, and they decided there was a better way to go about it. I was contacted by Bob Cronowit This was 1973. I had been married for about 26 minutes, and they had me fly to Florida and get involved. And, well, all I can tell you is for the ensuing years, Bob Cronowit was nothing if not my hero. And he will be missed. And I want to thank him, his wife, Mickey, who's also now gone, for all of the great work that they did. And I pray and I trust that there will be others who will assume those duties and continue on. Rest in peace, Bob. Now it's a little Terry. Okay, now, I've been saying I wasn't going to do this, but I think my teeth are going to blow out of my mouth if I don't say something. And what the hell's going on with this new health care bill? Are you kidding me? Not only for myself, but, and I am reaching that age where you never know. I could wind up in a nursing home, but it would have to be a very groovy one. I'm planning on going to the actor's home. But in all seriousness, it's just a terrible idea drawn up by people. I don't understand it. If you can understand it any better than I ask you to please write to me at bonnie@bonniesher.com and tell me what the heck is going on. Because from what I heard first thing this morning is that this new health care bill has a whopping 17% rate of acceptance. And yet, it looks like they're going to pass it. Do whatever you can. 4th of July weekend is here. Your representatives are going to be back in their home state. Go have a little chat and explain to them why not just for diabetics, but for anyone who had a heart, that this is just not feasible and it's pernicious behavior and I just can't take it anymore. And that's the end of that. But now, before we say goodbye, I really want to thank our guests today, my friend Jim Turner and my new pal here, Hunter Carlson. And that's our show. And I hope that you'll return next week for another 50 minutes and a trip to the land of Bonnie. Baby boomers and the T1D community. Until then, please visit bonniesher.com. You can follow the number 1 Bonnie Sher on Twitter and like the Bonnie Sings Lena, Lena, Facebook fan page. Many of you are aware of the close relationship that I had for the majority of my life with the late, great Sammy Davis Jr. He was my mentor. He was my friend. And every week I like to end the show with a wink and a nod to you, Mr. D. That's it for today. Have a great week.